we will move on then to the Raiders and the Seagulls. The Seagulls obviously missing two key players in Moses Sully and Matty Tapau. How do you think that they fare against the Raiders? I mean, we both went Raiders, so I know how you think they'll fare, but what's your thought process?
Again, this is one of the ones I think are going to be a lot closer than we may give credit to. Manly still a top side in the competition on their day. Arguably, I think what are they 3-2 at the moment? Arguably should be 4-1.
Yep.
Garrick has been great on the wing there for Manly. Nothing needs to be said about Tommy Turbo. He's been fantastic. Their spine is starting to look good. Danny Levi has been great at the hooker role. But yeah, no Marty Tapau means they lose some oomph in their starting front row. They bring on Fanua Blake, which is a like for like, but can be caught out with being lazy at times. Teams have been able to keep Jake Trbojevic a bit quiet this year. The other thing for me is they've got Lockie Croker on at the 14. We've seen it in previous weeks. Croker in the 14 just isn't necessarily someone that they need there. As for the Raiders, I think we spoke about it on Monday with how the Raiders have got to work out the running game between the two halves. This may be the one game that it might work. Parker Elliott, Funa, the three of the four, center wings for me are not fantastic defenders. So if White and Williams are able to find a little bit of space, they're able to get. They're both strong lads. If they can get themselves one-on-one with Parker or Elliott, there's a high chance that they swat them away and go through the line. I think this is the one game where they could do that. And we saw last week, Tavita Funa may as well coat his hands with butter before the game. He'll come up against Kotrick, who isn't as strong in the air as Xavier Coates, but Funa does not look confident under the high ball. And it would not surprise me if we see White and Williams just pepper him with bombs from 20, 30, 35 metres out.
Yeah. So I'm leaning the same way. I think Funa, now he's got that debut game out of the way, I think he'll be a little bit more confident, and I think he'll have gone away and he'll have done his homework. Like you mentioned, Kotrick, not the best in the air, but still enough to challenge, especially if you put Funa under the high ball. I mean, any winger playing first grade can catch a bomb, So I don't think Funa's going to struggle so much under the high ball as much as he will do with the short kicking game and that decision making when it comes to what do I do when a kick's dribbled in behind me. That's what you saw Tavio Fido struggle with last week. Caught too high up in the line, kick over the top that undid him. I think Funa coming up against a short kicking game will be questioned. Garrick's a little bit more sure, but you mentioned the forward pack as well. They've got Paseka starting. Mm-hmm. Paseka's a really good prop, but I don't think he's a starting prop. He's a big body who's designed to go at tired middlemen sort of after 20, 25 minutes. So that's what they've lost with Matty Tapau. I just don't think when you look at that squad to a man that there's enough quality in that Manly side. Even when you look at the bench is pretty damning. Kepi, Boyle, Croker, Gazowski, there doesn't look to be the depth that the Raiders have. I mean, that they've probably got less than 100 games between them, that bench. Whereas you look at, the Raiders bench, Havili, Gula, Sutton, and Hudson Young as well. It looks like a stronger, more physical pack that's going to come in and just split them up the middle. And you see it with Hodgson time and time again when it comes out of the ruck, using Soliola on the edges and Papali as well, working it wide at Tapine and Whitehead. I just don't see Manly right now with how injury hit they truly are standing up in this one.
Yeah. Hudson Young returning from a suspension, it solves the little dilemma that we kind of threw up as to what they're going to do with that utility back on the bench. Simonson in the 19 now as well. So, a strong bench. Havili can play and, has very well played hooker as well as a roaming lock. Gula, Sutton, Young, just three strong bodies coming on. Manly with Kepi and Gazowski, not bad. Kepi is a big boy, a tall boy, much in the same vein as Fanua Blake, but only good for 25, 30 minutes. Bench depth, I think, is where the Raiders get Manly. I've got them up by about 8.
Yeah, I'm very much leaning the same way. I think Horsburgh is a question mark for me. I don't know why he's back at 13. I think Sutton should be given a shot at the 13 jersey and make Horsburgh earn it back after coming back from suspension. Sutton played a really good game last week. I get that he's a prop, but he's got a good bit of footwork on him, and he'll attract some bodies as well, especially if you've got him coming at you down the middle. But in the same vein, I think this one's won in the later stages of the game. By no means is this one going to be a blowout, but I just think that as some of the bigger bodies start to tire, it's going to open up through the middle, and I'd say that the Raiders by 10, but it's only going to be the last 20 to 25 of the game where it really opens up.
Yeah.